Hi, everyone. Welcome to a conversation about affirmations that goes along with the weekly affirmation practice for creative people that I'm doing. My name is Michele Tracy Berger, and I'm so happy to have you here. On this channel, we talk about all things related to creativity, and affirmations is included in that. So I was rereading one of my favorite books by Louise Hay called You Can Heal Your Life. And Louise Hay was an amazing personal transformation teacher, author, founder of Hay House Books, which, if you know anything about personal transformation, Hay House Publishing is a major company in that space. And she really helped to bring out the concept that it's important to talk to ourselves in kind and loving ways. It's important to use affirmations as a practice, among other things, to help to transform our thinking and as an aid to change. Now, I personally discovered her work more than 40 years ago, and it put me on a path of discovery, and her work around affirmations has definitely influenced me for the better. And I was rereading this book and I came across a section that I want to share with you because I think it gets at the power really of affirmations and why we want to think about doing them. I'm really committed to them. I'm committed to sharing them with you because I think as creative people, we need all the help that we can get to counteract negative thoughts, negative experiences, and really co-create that sense of our own experience. What do we think about ourselves? What do we believe about ourselves? What do we say about ourselves as creative individuals? And how that can be like rocket fuel, I think, for the way we experience ourselves in the world as creative people. So I had forgotten this passage. I was rereading it, rereading the book, and she begins, the section is called Planting Seeds. And she begins by just talking about an average tomato plant. And an average tomato plant can have close to 100 tomatoes on it. And in order to get that tomato plant, it all starts with a seed, right? One seed, and you have this amazing tomato plant if you put in the right soil and water it and it has great sun and all of that stuff. So she says, when the first little tiny shoot comes up, you don't stomp on it and say, that's not a tomato plant. Rather, you look at it and say, oh boy, here it comes. And you watch it grow with delight. In time, if you continue to water it and give it lots of sunshine and pull away any weeds, you might have a tomato plant with more than 100 luscious tomatoes. It all began with that one tiny seed. It is the same thing with creating a new experience for yourself. The soil you plant in is your subconscious mind. The seed is the new affirmation. The whole new experience is in this tiny seed. You water it with affirmations. You let the sunshine of positive thoughts beam on it. You weed the garden by pulling out the negative thoughts that come up. And again, when you see the tiniest little evidence, you don't stomp on it and say, that's not enough. Instead, you look at this first breakthrough and exclaim with glee, oh boy, here it comes. It's working. And I was really struck by that framing of what we're trying to do when we're doing affirmations. We're really wanting, so if you're attracted to thinking about affirmations, you are wanting a different experience, right? And you are wanting some kind of transformation. And so what I love about this is that the new experience is the tiny seed. And the seed is that affirmation, is a new affirmation. And you're planting it in your subconscious mind, right? So we have the conscious mind, which is always in, we might say, a beta brainwave state. So very logical, usually very active, very focused, believing all the things that we can taste, touch, sense, hear. And then the subconscious mind is all the other, the nonverbal, the unconscious to some degree, things that we've taken and beliefs that we might have about ourselves. And I just think it's really powerful to believe that we have a tool, and affirmations are just a type of tool, and that we're using that to begin to have a new experience breakthrough. And that's all you're doing with affirmations. You're putting this idea in your subconscious. You're doing it through a variety of ways. Repetition is one of them, intentionality, and that you're allowing yourself to be open to what you want to occur, what you want to pay attention to, what you're hoping to move forward in your life. And that's the way I've always found affirmations to be helpful to me, that they are something that I'm intentionally trying to absorb through the subconscious, and so that will help me in my everyday thinking, everyday world. And I just think she expresses it so beautifully with this idea of the affirmation is that new experience. It is that seed that you're planting in the soil. So I think what I'm going to do is I have a lot of books over many years that I've been doing work around personal transformation, and many of them talk about affirmation. So I think periodically I'm just going to pull some nuggets from for us from those books and show different ways that writers have talked about affirmations. And I hope that will be of interest to you and helpful to you. Please let me know if you want, if you know about Louise Hay, where you are in your affirmation practice. What new seeds are you trying to plant for your creative life? And of course, as always, please like and subscribe and share this with creative folk that you know who might like a bit of a pick me up. Thanks.